Get our council. Oh, thank you for being here. We'll open our meeting.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful day that we have been afforded. We thank you for the many, many blessings that we all are presented on a daily basis. Be with us during this meeting. May the discussions and decisions made be pleasing in your sight. What's the name of your Son, Jesus, we ask and pray. Amen.
Yes. First order of business, adopt minutes of the May 20th, 2026 MPO Policy Committee meeting.
So we emailed out the minutes from the previous meeting. We have received no comments or corrections on those.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Third item, adopt minutes of the July 15th, 2026 TCC-CAC meeting.
Again, those minutes were emailed out. We'll say at the TCC meeting, we had the wrong numbers on the resolutions, and that has now been corrected in this meeting today. So I just wanted to let you guys know that.
We move to properly second that the minutes be adopted as corrected. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote aye. Opposers? Ayes have it. Item 4, consider amendment of the 2024-2027 Transportation Improvement Program, Resolution 26-010.
So this resolution is, I'm sure we've all read about this in the news. It's for the Hudson-Mobile River Bridge and the Bayway. So it's they changed the phasing they changed the project into phases. And so this resolution reflects that, and Aldot is here if anyone has any questions.
Do you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, I can just provide a brief update. You know, like what you're saying, this is set up to do the project in phases. We've been working to finalize a lot of our grant agreements and loan applications. So a lot of those have been submitted, and we're looking to get those finalized and around mid-September, and then be able to shortly after that notice to proceed to our contractor. So right now they have a handful of work packages they're working on. I think the most notable or visible work package is they're working on the field office right there in the project right away on the west side of the railroad tracks. But everything's still progressing. We're excited to be here today and get everything moving forward.
A motion to approve.
Second.
We move to properly second that we will adopt resolution -26-011. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote aye. Opposed, abstained. Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. Congratulations, and I'm sure that all of us are really happy to be with this role.
Thank you.
Consider approval of fiscal year 2027 unified. Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me slow my roll. Consider amendment of the 2024-2027 Transportation Improvement Program concerning National Highway Funds, Resolution 26-011.
So this is the National Highway Program funds. The first project you see listed there was actually scheduled to be in fiscal year 2028. It has now moved into fiscal year 2027. So that's into the current TIP. So that we need approval for that. And then the second, the additional lanes and bridge replacement on I-65 from SR 158 to Celeste Road. The old estimate was 53 million. It's now at 65 million. So this is over $5 million. So it requires approval again from the NPO. And Aldon is here if you have any questions.
We're expecting to get started out.
Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
So move the property second, and we will adopt resolution 26-011. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor vote aye. Opposed, nay. Consider approval of the fiscal year 2027 Unified Planning Work Program, Resolution 26-012.
So the full document was emailed to you. So this is the resolution, and attached to the resolution is the financial part of that. The Unified Planning Work Program is basically what staff is going to do. It's our planning funds, and it's what the staff is going to do for the upcoming year. Of course, the current federal transportation bill expires September, and it's probably going to be a continuing resolution for it. So, we have to go based on what the federal transportation bill is now. So that's what we've done with our UPWP. It may need changes once a new bill is authorized, but so this is currently what we have. We did get a little bit of increase in planning funds, and our tasks have basically stayed the same as they were last year, with just small increases in each of the different tasks that we do. We did move. We have more money in the long-range transportation plan, which is task 3.6.1. We moved more money into the transportation improvement program because we will start working on a new TIP in the upcoming fiscal year. As the one we have is the 4-year cycle is ending on it. So we did add a little bit more money to that. Also wanted to bring your attention to down towards the bottom, and I'm looking at table 2 that's attached to the resolution. We had carryover funding from 2025 for planning studies. We have programmed 5 planning studies into the UPWP. 4 of those were approved at the UPWP for 2026 was actually amended at the last NPO meeting to include those. We're also looking at a transit feasibility study for South Mobile County. That leaves us $311,719 for other planning studies. So we do have room to do a few more planning studies in FY 2027. If anyone is interested in those funds, just let us know.
Is there a motion to approve? There's a second. To remove the property second that we would adopt resolution 26-012. Is there any further discussion?
I have a question. When I'm looking at table 2, and I'm looking at the task 3.4, public involvement, can we explain, so are these numbers on the right of the column, the additional funds that are going towards those things?
That's our match. We have a 20% match on all of the planning funds.
So the total, for example, on 3.4, 2.2, is 25,000.
Correct. It's 20,000 from the federal planning funds and 5,000 local dollar match.
Okay. How did we come up with these percentages out of the overall budget for each?
It's just based on the type of work that we do, you know, what are we spending our time doing and where we, you know, so it's just kind of built off of what we're working on most of the time. So this is, yeah, like this pays our salaries and that type of thing. That's the purpose of the Unified Planning Work Program.
Other questions?
You mentioned we had a few more planning dollars. Oh, we had a plan for the government again, particularly for about that the 158 coming in as far as relieving some of that. We got money planning for future expansion so we can do traffic really quicker coming out of Mississippi to interstates. Or is that one of the projects you have money to do?
That's a possibility for, if that's a planning study that you would like to see, then the City of Saraland just writes that up and sends it to us, and we can see about adding that. Yes,
But
absolutely.
there's none currently.
There's not currently that we're funding.
Then Al, y'all have anything look at the future of 158 and maybe expanding that so the traffic police will.
Yeah, well, we had that approved originally and we phased it, so I don't know that we need another planning study.
Okay.
But we will update the traffic and monitor that.
Okay. Well, sorry for that. Thank you.
There were recommendations presented to Alba for that.
I went out into their past state.
As I understand it, they'll start those in the first day.
Yeah, you're talking in Sarah, and that's going to continue before right now.
Yeah.
I have a question about the study funding as well. Seeing that we just passed the resolution for the bridge, I know that the African exit is going to be resurfaced. Can there be some studies for the amount of traffic that may be increased coming off of that that exit trying to go across today, since that construction is going to start in place?
Edwin, has there been studies on that?
That was part of our environmental document for the Bayway Bridge. Originally, when the Waltz tunnel was going to be tolled, we had to look at the toll avoidance that would be sent along Africatown and across the Africatown Bridge. With the updated project that we have now, Waltz tunnel is now free, that the toll avoidance takes that route and doesn't impact Africatown as much as what we originally studied. So we do have some commitments in our document to do some traffic studies before the bridge opens and after, to see how the traffic through the area has changed. But that was looked at as part of our environmental document studies.
Consider approval of updates to the human.
Oh, we have a motion in a second, we need to vote. We did vote. Okay, we did not vote.
All in favor, vote aye. Opposed? Consider approval of the updates to the Human Services Coordinated Transportation Plan, Resolution 26-013.
So the Human Services Coordinated Transportation Plan actually covers all of Mobile, Baldwin, and Escambia County. It pertains to the transportation, and it covers the rural transportation as well as all of the 5310 funds that are in all three of those counties. And who has transportation, who's covered with that particular transportation. So we did we did a full new plan last year and adopted it. This year we updated it. I sent you the updated and synopsis of what was updated. The demographics data has been upgraded to reflect the American Community Survey. The description of Mobile, Baldwin, and Escambia counties have slight increases to reflect in the elderly and disabled population projections, so that was reflected in the plan. The life expectancy per capita income and poverty rate projections have slight increases as well. And then we feel like we didn't do one section really well, and so we updated that. We created a table to clearly explain the action planning needed to address coordinated transportation strategies, priorities, and recommendations. And then we added two things to the appendix. So Appendix E was added to reflect service areas and agencies for the region, and then the wave transit's been updated to second line transit.
Is there a motion to approve? We move properly second that we will adopt resolutions 26-01, 3 updates to the Fuel Services Coordinated Transportation Plan. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of aye? Aye. Opposed, nay? Ayes have it. Consider approval of changes to Mobile MPO bylaws.
So the MPO bylaws, the only change that was made was we changed wave transit to second line transit, just so that we had proper names reflected in the bylaw.
Is there a motion to approve? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Consider approval of changes to the TCC-CAC bylaws.
The revisions of to the TCC-CAC bylaws primarily involve updating Article 3 of the membership to reflect current organizational membership and names, and making adjustments to modernize both the document itself as well as the contents. The most significant changes to Article 3, we expanded the Citizens Advisory Committee at-large membership from 1 to 3 members, and we replaced several of the community organizations with current partners. And then we also, the proxy designation procedures outlined in Section 3.8, the voting membership by proxy, has been modernized to allow email submissions where a member at the last minute they can't come, they can email us with their proxy instead of having to sign the form for that. And then there were just some formatting changes. I gave you a list in your folder. This is the current appointed TCC-CAC members. The 2 organizations that we added is the Alabama Coastal Foundation and the Downtown Mobile Alliance. They show up as vacant right now because we haven't approved that yet. So this is what we would be approving. And again, in the bylaws themselves, there's no name attached to, like, for City of Mobile employee Nick Hamburger is the first one. The bylaws doesn't have Nick's name there. It's just the positions. And if that is your organization, then as the MPO member, you're the one who appoints to the TCC-CAC for your organization.
You must approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, vote aye. Opposed, nay. Ayes have it. Discussion of the STP approval.
So the big The folded page is the STP attributable funding. This is the money that is at the NPO's discretion to spend. No really major changes in it this time. But the numbers that are in, and I know this is really hard to see, and I did not bring my reading glasses, so I'm going to try to get this correct. We did, if you see towards the bottom, carry over from prior years, we did have 2 previous projects that were being closed down. They went up a little bit in cost, and so the carryover that we had was reduced. The number 1 project, Ziegler Boulevard, which is from 2020, they're closing everything out on it, and it went up about $100,000 from the final closeout things, and then as well as the McGregor Avenue, it went up about $800,000 when it closed out. And then from the current TIP, construction on the number 6 Ziegler Boulevard project moved from 2026 to 2027, which didn't move out of the TIP, so there was no vote needed on that. And then the right-of-way for the number 8 project, additional lanes on Airport, moved from 2026 to 2027 as well. That was the major changes in the funds. Just like to keep you guys updated on that, because these are the projects that you guys vote on. There's no resolution. So Kevin Harrison is here with St. Associates. They have been doing the Safe Streets for All Safety Action Plan for us, and so he's going to give us an update on that.
Good morning, everybody. So Sergeant contracted with St. Associates to do safety action plan for SS4A, that's safe streets and roads for all. In the past 5 years, there were 71,000 crashes in Mobile County. We've looked at all that data. We've looked at thousands of data points. We had our 3rd stakeholder meeting in July. Public survey comment period is over. We had 424 surveys, which is pretty good. I was hoping for better. There will be a public meeting in the next couple of months. We're kind of writing the document now. Like I said, there's thousands of data points we're looking at. We've honed in on 17 priority sites. This is based on the equitable distribution and the objective data of where the crashes were. Now, these 17 projects are not the only projects that are eligible for the 2nd phase of funding is the implementation grant. We understand that the current transportation bill is under continuing resolution, and as we understand that the SS4A program will be continued in the next transportation bill. So, if you've got an area in your municipality that is on the high-end network, which means there's crashes there, then that area would be eligible for funding under the implementation grant. But what the safety action plan does is we hone in on a certain amount, in this case, 17 different locations in the county. I'm going to read them off to you real quick. Wild Battery was at 188 from Sutton to Patrick Switch Road, was highlighted. Citronelle, US 45 from Forest to Lonnie Walker Road, that's in the north part of Citronelle. Chickasaw, the intersection of 7th Street and Grant Street Alley. Let's see, Citronelle had another 145 in Woods Lane, had high number of collisions. Creola had 43 from Radcliffe to the flyover or the X-over, which is north of Radcliffe. Mobile had quite a few projects, Hallsville and Darwood Drive, overlooking 80, University from Ziegler to Gilliard, Relock from Hillcrest Crystal, Airport at Alverston Road, and Pritchard, Wilson Avenue, and Clark Avenue, and several in rural Mobile County, Bellingrath Road, from Delshan to Depot Road, US 45 from Roberts to Centura Landfill Road, that came up on quite a few different accounts. Snow Road from Eastway Drive to Scott Vista Drive, Saraland 43, Saraland Avenue, Old Telegraph Road, Sims from Fire Tower Road from Sim Drive to Ward's Lane, Sim Drive to East Ward's Lane. So those are the 17. Thompson Engineering went out and did roadway safety assessments for the countermeasures at all these 17 sites. They'll be included in the document. Like I said, they're writing the document now. Each municipality is about 60 pages long. This is going to be quite a large document. So, like I said, next step is will be a public hearing, probably a public meeting, probably here in the next couple of months. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer about this as well.
Did you look at the, like pedestrian deaths? I know we've had a lot of government.
Yes, that's included in all the data, pedestrian, bicycle deaths, included in the report. However, less than about 2 or 3 weeks ago, of 28 countermeasures, acceptable countermeasures by the Federal Highway Administration, they've been reduced to 23, and I think bike ped was reduced, the number of countermeasures, the number of things that can be followed through. So I think we're going to, yes, it's looked for and it's going to be fine.
Thank you. Yeah. Did y'all look at Highway 45?
We looked at everything. There's 71,000 crashes. We looked at every crash.
Okay.
We looked at everything.
Okay.
And we've got, so some of the problem with this stuff is we're not able to publish it. We're prevented from publishing a map that certain cracks happen here. In the state of Alabama, we're not allowed to post it. Florida, you can. So it'll be difficult to print the, what we can do is heat maps. And now we'll have heat maps in the document, but I can assure you that it has them.
And so for your public meeting, what is the format for that? You got a 600-page document, 600 something. How will you use it?
That's a great question. But State Associates have done numerous of these around the state. So we're going to follow that same format that we've done across the state.
New business.
I just want to, I don't really have any new business if anybody else does, but I wanted to recognize Anthony Johnson. Recently, we went to the Alabama Transportation Planners Association conference, yearly conference, and he was awarded the MPO RPO Staff Member of the Year Award. July was just a whole month of conferences for us. We went to the National Association of Development Organizations Regional Transportation annual conference, where we were awarded a Regional Excellence Award for our Escambia County Safety Action Plan, which was primarily written by Otto Green.
Any other new business? Any other new business? Hearing.
Hope everybody's had a good summer, and we'd like to, like you mentioned, an incident that happened here several weeks ago with one of our employees, Cody. She's gone. Several of our employees jumped into action, started CPR, and the main one giving the CPR, her husband, a nurse practitioner. They got him on FaceTime, and he was given instructions whatever she needed during the process till the Mobile Fire Rescue got here. They ended up having to give a shot her twice. She was still not very responsive. There wasn't much hope at the time. They got her to the infirmary. pretty much on life support. And now, that's been a couple, 3 weeks, I guess. He's home doing physical therapy, occupational therapy. It's a miracle. Part of the reason is you want to be a fire rescue along with our employees here who jumped in that. Teamwork, Mayor. Just want that out. Thank you. Miracle.
There's nothing else, we stand adjourned.